Right. Hey, good evening. It's Ros Boundy again, owner and instigator of the Boomer Press. Um, Book Nook as well, yes, that's what I'm calling these sessions, but the business itself is Boomer Press. And that story comes from where I'm located initially because I live a street away from that way, Boomer Beach at Port Elliot, and I love it here. So that was the first reason why I've called it Boomer Press. The second reason is because I'm a baby boomer. And it's one of those things with what the reason I started doing the writing and wanting to learn writing craft and publish my own books is because I've got my dad's diaries and I want to write them up as not as his memoir, but just as a story. And it got me to thinking, well, I don't want to have my legacy forgotten as such as to what myself and my husband had created that is a business that doesn't exist anymore now. I'd like it remembered. So I want to write my memoir. So a lot of this is because, we do, well, I do want to leave a legacy for my kids and the grandchildren. Doesn't matter if they don't read it, doesn't matter if, but later on they might want to. And if we're not writing our stories now while the memory is here, fresh enough to really put it down on paper, the stories are lost. Thankfully, Dad did write a book that was the John and Pat story that brought to us kids some of what was their lives, not in chronological order or a history or anything, but it was snippets of what they had experienced as their life. It wasn't the funny stories that I would have liked to have in it, like all of them, but because you've got to, discern what's more important in the story than other bits and pieces. You can't write your whole life history, but it's still moving through the process of just writing your thoughts down first while you remember them. It doesn't matter whether it's in something like a notebook that I've got here, that I do still use paper and pen, and other ways that is based on computer, which is what I'm doing tonight because I really enjoy using the Scrivener program. So I'm just going to write tonight, and you can accompany me. You can come along and join me in the process as I'm moving through writing with Scrivener. And, I'm not going to explain each and every week what I'm doing. That's past videos. So if you need to sort of learn a bit more about Scrivener, there's ways and means of doing that with other YouTube channels, especially the Scrivener one itself and other people using it. I'm just sharing my time, and you can come along and watch, see what the process is in the way my mind's going through it and how I'm structuring it. Tonight's just going to be an easy half hour ish. Well, it might be a bit less now. I have to be done by 8, so my time. And with daylight savings changeover, I was a bit late getting started. I am expecting to use these sessions as half hour to an hour timelines of sharing with you because, well, what interest is there for you to watch me for a full couple of hours? It's good to have that company. And, you can ask questions if you want to in the chat, in the YouTube. Those comments come into my studio session that I've got here, which is I use Ecamm. If you've got questions about that, you can ask as well. So I'm going to go to the screen sharing where I'm sharing. I'm hoping I'm sharing. Nah, I got it wrong. I haven't changed the setting yet. So I've got to do the screen sharing and choose what the program is. Well, I'm actually just going to have to pop that down out of the way. There's a setting here somewhere that I'm not sure where it is whilst you're looking at the mirror effect. I've got to share this scene. It's supposed to be screen sharing. The setting's gone. Oh, that part is so frustrating. Um, because this is not meant to share it like this. I've just got to go to the setting somewhere. Where is the setting? No. It was working perfectly last week. So this is jolly frustrating. It's got to go options and look for it slowly up the top. Overlays. It's not that. Yeah, see, camera, Logitech, share screen. It isn't giving me the source for the sharing screen, and yet that's what the setting was last week. Okie doke. Is it sharing my... Oh, it's sharing the Scrivener. Okay, let me go like this. Well, that's probably the fault of my own fault. Memoir. And it is my own fault. It is sharing the screen. I just didn't have it on the screen I needed to be sharing. Oh, silly me. Okie doke. So you can see me. There we go. I'm up in the corner. Up here. And I might just make myself a little bit bigger so you can see at least where I am. Now the only things that we've got hiding behind in the up there, okay, it's the compose, which is this. The compose takes us to putting the whole book and everything together. Now I'm going to go back to escape. So I don't need that. I don't need for you to see me do that. And this is the inspector. So that's the one that maybe you will end up seeing me use there. That I need to be using that. But even at the moment, I don't need to do that either. So we can close that down. I'm going to move the camera a little bit that way. So that... I think, where's the optimal size of the screen that I need to be showing you? I think that's about where it shows up best for you guys there. Okay. Oh, goodness. Takes a little bit of practice, so I'll remember it for next time. Will I or not? Anyway. What I've started with is, here is the manuscript. It's all of this top part here, okay, where it says manuscript. So I've done it as a reminder for you. I'm not going through all of these things. It's the first part, one, the early years, second part, the adult years, third part, the twilight years, which is sort of the now. And I've got them where there's different chapters, the earlier memories, school days, school years, on becoming an adult, and the prime years, whatever this all means. These are just things that I'm going to add as I go along at any point in time. What I'm wanting to do at each of these is just pop in notes basically as I'm going. Swimming lessons at Port Rickaby, and we'll just continue on from here and go through as I feel I've got the memory for one or other of these types of, you know, for adding things into the chapters. And what I've got, you know, from the school years, that was the first day of school, so that's what I've got there. And I'll probably do another scene. Did I have that on there, playing at the school? So, but yeah, I did. So this is the overview of what is the contents of chapter 2. That's why there's the dividing line, okay? And I could probably put something else in there. A frightening day at school, and that is itself that scene within the chapter, okay? Can you see the difference when it segregates? Right, so I'm going to add another document here, and first day of school, a few of these snippets from primary school. Right, actually I'm just going to do that, snippets. Now, in the first few years, when of what I remember during the primary school, during the time that we were at the Minlaton Primary School, these were the grades 1 to 3. We had moved in 1967 to Nengi. Now I'm just going to put that down the bottom there, so grades 1 to 3. There was some fun times playing in the yard, which was pretty much a single quadrangle with a large area that had space for the whole school, being able to stand for morning assembly. We would sing the I can't remember what the name for the, there's the song that you sing to the Queen. What's that one called? I'm trying to think of it. Oh, I wonder what this here is. Oh, this is the, can you see that in the, no you can't. I've actually got, in where my arrow is down in the corner, that would be the part that's being recorded, it's actually popped up the Pro Writing Aid Assistant. It is an AI assistant that just gives you a few little ideas to focus or critique some areas or ask questions. Now I don't want that one. I actually want to have the Perplexity. For those of you that might know what Perplexity is, did that open up properly there? Just trying to find it here because it's sharing the screen. No, that's not the one I wanted. Let me go back to Scrivener. Where is the Perplexity? There's Perplexity over here. Now I've got to go hunting for it. Here is another part of clicking buttons that I'm not quite used to. I've got to sort of suss out where the actual Perplexity is hiding. I don't know where it's hiding. That is so funny because I can't find it. Let me just see if I can. I've just got to pop that down, and that is I'm just going to pop that down. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, I've got some funny things happening. One day, we are going to have this put so nicely and smoothly that these recordings would be worth watching. And I think what I need to be doing is, I don't know how to use the Perplexity. Open at login, hide. I'm actually not sure where the perplexity is supposed to be opening up. Let's see what that does. Ah, there it is. Can you see the perplexity? Here we are down the bottom. So what is the... I don't want that there. I wanted the perplexity. Where is it? Obviously there's some things around how to use it that I need to learn, because I'm not sure where that zipped off to. It's gone somewhere and I don't know where. Very interesting. I wonder where it went. What's that? Oh, current action, that's eCam. Ah, dearie, dearie, dear. No, I don't know where it is. Let me just go to Google. Here we go. I'm here. And let's see if perplexity, you can see all these little doovers up here. Our perplexity is an app that should actually show up here somewhere, I thought. That's my login. Huh. I don't know. Let's do this. What is the name of the song that would have been sung in honour of the Queen in 1965 at school assemblies? Because I just can't remember. So let's see what it's coming up with. Oh, there it is. So easy. God save the Queen. So the song sung at school assemblies in Australia and other Commonwealth countries in honour of the Queen in 1965 would have been the national anthem, God Save the Queen. This patriotic song served as the royal anthem and was a customary part of Monday morning assemblies, often performed before other activities like flag raising. There you go. So that is what it would have been. Okay. Now, here I can put that we would sing the sing God Save the Queen with the accompaniment. That looks weird. Accompaniment for the music performed by the school band. It was in later years that, now when did I learn recorder? Actually it was as a 5-year-old, 6-7-year-old. It was then. It was in later years that I learnt the recorder, and in grade 3 I was part of that band playing music along with the other students. For my age, I did this reasonably well, as my memory of practicing music was a happy one. Oh, I don't think I'll put a full stop there. I'll do all the grammar and all that sort of stuff afterwards anyway. I don't need to be doing that right now. Now I'm just going to have a quick look onto my phone to see if I can find my YouTube, just to monitor that it's going there. I'm getting notifications and I'm hoping it's from this channel. No, it's not. Okay, that's different. I've just got to go into Boomer Press, change it, which on the phone I don't know how to do that. Let's have a look. I'm going to be finding out. Clips, no. Time watched, help, no. View channel. How do I change it? On my computer, I can do it very easily. No, I'm not seeing it there. So let me just have a look, see. Oh, I'm meant to press some buttons, as you know. So I'm just going to have a quick look in the, here, I'm going over to YouTube, which is what we're going to see here. And I'll take it to, you're all going to see it as part of the recording, so it doesn't matter. Have a laugh along with me, I don't mind. And when it feeds, comes up, and I do not watch stuff about Trump, so this is my Ros Boundy channel. These are the other channels that I have. There's the Boomer Press. This is the one that I am streaming to at the moment, so I'm hoping that it comes up with, and I can give you a bit of a hint around YouTube here once it loads. So I would go to my Boomer Presses channel, so you choose that, and here is my channel. Now here it should show up that I'm going live on this channel, and it's not. So there's the live, and here it's saying yes, I'm doing the live now. Okay, so I'm just going to click on it, not to have double feed. Yep, so goodly. So now I know that I am. Here we go, back to Scrivener, and that'll be fine. Just thought I needed to check that. Okay, so there we go. There were some fun times playing in the yard, which was pretty much a single quadrangle with a large area that had space for the whole school being able to stand for morning assembly. That's a huge sense of memory, but when you're just jotting down your notes, you're just putting them there. Don't worry about what it looks like. Don't worry about what it sounds like. Still have it there in the first place anyway. Just write. Put it down, anything that you can think of. I can remember a time when, with some friends, we decided that we'd sneak to the space behind the classrooms and just play there, out of sight and more out away from the sounds of the other kids playing. Now this school, I cannot remember how many students there were in it. The Minlaton area, the rural area of Minlaton, wasn't from memory an absolutely huge space, so the themselves were not really huge, so it did just seem that it was like a rectangle. It could have been more spaces. There was a netball court to play. It felt like there was, from just my mind's eye, the 2 rows of buildings each side, the main office and stuff, the whatever that, we come past as we moved, walk into your own classrooms. So I'm suspecting there was probably only about the 7 large classrooms, a library, main area, staff room and all that. So I just can't remember enough of the detail. Anyway, we'd snuck behind the things. Part of what we were playing was that type of game that was probably close to the truth or dare, and I can remember the dare was to eat some ants, so I did. An interesting flavour. Oh, I can remember that. Definitely remembering picking up the ants and eating a few of them. And in those days, they were the inch ant size. So for my age at the time, that was a huge dare to do. So that's another one of, the snippets from the primary school. Another time when, and I'm just writing, another time when we were playing in the yard at recess time. I was a bit older, so likely around grade 2. Age, what's grade 2? Age 6 or 7? 7. And it was the, right, age 7. Age 7. We were playing with back then was it called basketball or netball? I'm very tempted to ask the thingy, what do you call it? Google. What was the ball game that is called netball now? Was it called basketball in 1965 in Australia? The ones girls played, because back then there certainly was the segregation of what was, what a girl could play, what a boy could play, and all that sort of stuff. So yes, the game of netball was known as basketball, or more specifically women's basketball in Australia in 65, before it was officially named netball in 1970. See, sometimes it's good to know some of this history. Okay, so back there in Scrivener, we're playing with a basketball on the court, and someone had thrown the ball toward me, and I tried to catch it but missed. In the way I stepped awkwardly, I twisted around and fell on the ground, landing on my left arm. Ouch. Later, Mum took me to the doctor rooms, doctors, and I remember having an X-ray, and where it was noted there wasn't any broken bones, but that I had... Is X-ray spelt like that? No. What's the suggestion? And this is where the suggestion should come up, shouldn't it? Ah, X-ray, unknown X-ray. I thought that. So let me see, it's probably just x-ray. Broken bones, but that I had sprained my wrist. It was quite painful for a week, and I've not liked ball games since then. I didn't ever play the women's basketball or netball when it was renamed 1970. So that puts a little bit of context to it. Okay, didn't ever play. And you know, it's so it is actually quite interesting. It is quite interesting when you start to look at the way that some of what happens in our life really does influence us for the rest of our life. And that's one of them. So, another one of them, you know, besides Cressy treading on my feet, and now, you know, I'd had this incident with a ball, just a basketball at the time, someone throwing it, and just the way I'd fallen and the rest. It has affected me for the rest of my life. And there's another incident that I'll be sharing with, you know, from Meningiaria school. You know, it's just put your thoughts and you know, the bits and pieces of stories that you've got that just crop up. Put them in your notebook. Put them on your computer, even if it's just a Google document, and you're just writing everything as in, you know, you're choosing. And I might just show you that very quickly, if you don't mind it. I'll go across to a Google Doc. I'll open a Google Doc and take you to that as a new document. Oh, excuse me. And I'll go back to sharing the screen. So as you know, I'm just going to share the screen now from this point. And hopefully that's showing that. So here we have blank document, hit on blank new document once you're in your Google Docs. And you'll see that Google Docs is docs.google.com. And you just do this, you know, label it snippets of memories or something like that, of memories. And that will give a title to your page, to your document. And what we're going to do the early years, you know how I had it in the Scrivener as that, and you know, there are a few memories that I have, blah blah blah. But as you can see here, when it first opens with a new document, you've got this tab there. Highlight the early years, or whatever it is, years. Highlight that and choose heading 1 or 2. Heading 1 for this, and you could probably do this as a heading 2. And after that, right, these are some of the memories that I hold of my childhood. Right, so see how in this area here, you've got it where it's like the chapter divisions. So the early years would be the act. Here as a heading 2, it's the chapters. And when you've got the settings set up so you can go to the different areas, there might be another one down here that you're going to choose the middle. Whoops, let me put that there. Adult years. More memories of the middle of my life, and starting to take the notes. Right, now the adult years, I probably would have something else here, and 1, 2, 3, just do the, you know, the doovers, the asterisks. Here again, create the heading 1. because that's what the early years is, and you see that up there. Here's the adult years, you see that there, and you can now see it here over on the left hand side. Then you do this one as the next chapter heading as heading 2. And here we've got the guts of what we're writing, and you don't see it in that list. It's a quick way to move between what we're doing here. If you wanted to, you could use that, starting to take the notes, you could use that as scenes using heading 3. And I've got it set that heading 1 is the first, 2 is the second, 3 will show, and anything after that, putting in the normal text here doesn't show in the document tabs on the left. It's like a de facto table of contents on the left, using it this way. So that's just a very quick way of doing a document. If you don't have Scrivener or anything else like that, you can at least still have something that's like it. It's easier to manage when we get to the more serious editing and creating your memoir, as you know, moving it towards something that's publishable later. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me. And look, I'll see you next Sunday for writing a bit more around our memoir stuff. And we'll see you then. Good night.